I'll speak a little bit on Master's Mahasamadhi, that it's wonderful that we can all come together to celebrate his birth, his life. We might wonder, why do we celebrate his passing, his leaving? One reason is that he has shown us how to live an exemplary life, that he's shown us how to live, that he doesn't come because he's forced to with his karma, like probably most of us, and we don't have a choice, that our karma calls and we just get forced into reincarnating. He doesn't have to. He comes because he wants to, in the compassion of his heart, to help all of his children. And the five masters that we see behind us, these are avatars, that they are all beyond karma, but Swamiji has said that they've been coming again and again in order to help humanity. That we know that Krishna is Babaji, or that Babaji was Krishna, however you want to think of it. And that Master said that he himself was Arjuna. But it is said that even Krishna and Arjuna, that they had incarnated before, that it's known that they had taken previous births. And Swami Kriyananda feels that this lineage, these gurus, that they come back again and again to help us. And avatars are far beyond even a normal guru. A normal guru has the power to free maybe 6 other people. That in fact it's a guru's job to find at least 6 disciples. And he doesn't find them like, oh, maybe that one would be good. That this is all predestined, that he knows who are his truly own. And he's looking for them, and once he finally finds them, then it's his job to help free those 6 others. That God made this creation like that, so that once a guru frees 6 others, then he himself can become fully liberated. But most gurus, once they get that, they say, boss, enough. I've had enough of all this suffering. I've done it. I'm out. I choose just to be one with God and enjoy infinite bliss forevermore. But occasionally, a few of these gurus, they see the suffering, and from their own free will, they choose to come back. And Master said, I'll come back 1 trillion times on bleeding feet, if need be, to help even one disciple who's on the wayside or who's gone astray, whatever it is. And then that's all of us. But we can get in tune with the Master, and that is the purpose of our life, that we get so caught up in thinking, well, maybe I'll do this, maybe I'll do that. This sounds like fun. Let's go here. Let's go to Goa. Let's do this. Let's do that. And these things are fun and they are fine, but it's not the point of life. But the point of life is for us to remember who we truly are. Don't forget that you are a God, that all the powers that God has, you have those as well. The thing is that these powers, they are latent within us. That there's, we might have learned in physics class, that there's potential energy and kinetic energy. And that we have that power, but it's potential. It's locked up. And it's locked up in all the different desires that we have. Oh, Goa, yeah, it's kind of cold here, yeah. Maybe I want to go to Goa. Being that one, I want to. There's a little bit of our energy. It's now committed. And God says, all right. God can't give us all of our desires all at once, but he says, you want to go to Goa? All right. Whatever you want, I'll give you. And know that he'll give you whatever you want. He just can't give it all at the same time. So now there's one more thing, okay. Now at some point we have to go to Goa. And instead of just sitting down quietly and just remembering who we truly are, and that the entire universe is within us to explore, to experience, that all joy is within us, and that we don't have to go outside of ourselves in order to find joy, that we constantly were tricked. And our neighbor did it, so now I think I should do it too. And we go here and we go there. But eventually after we go here, there, everywhere, that we say, well, it's been fun, but is there some true joy? And we know already where it is. And does this joy, does it exist that no one could ever take it away from me? That no circumstance could ever take it away from me? And this is what I saw in Swami Kriyananda. that no matter what was going on outwardly, that on the inside, he had this spark of joy that no one could ever take away from him. Now, the Guru also, at some point, he leaves his body because he wants us to find him on the inside. That if we're only with him outwardly, that it becomes very personal and friendly. It's like in the Gita when Krishna reveals his true self to Arjuna and he gets this divine vision. And by the way, those thousands of heads, it doesn't mean that Krishna suddenly grew thousands of heads. It means that in that state imagine if you could be looking out through everybody's eyes just in this room right now. That if you could just see what it feels to look out of this person's eyes and this person's eyes. And then of course there's all of the different senses to be hearing through all of that. That God is center everywhere and he's in all human beings. And that's what those 1,000 heads mean. It's actually much more than 1,000 heads. Once Master asked Swamiji, he said, please, I need to hold your arm. He said, I'm in so many bodies, it's hard for me to remember which one to keep moving, that he was in all of those bodies, and that Master is in us right now, but we're kind of dimly, vaguely aware of that. And we want to increase our knowing, that we want to remember that we're not who we think that we are. We're not this little ego. We're not this little body that was born and then it has to die. That we are the soul that animates this body. Just think about it. How can electricity get sick? That sounds preposterous. Electricity can't get sick. And so the same, you are the electric current that animates this body. And that part of you, it is immortal. It can't get sick. It's not born. It doesn't die. But we need some hand-holding from the big ones here to help us remember that that's who we truly are. And I want you to study every day. Take something of Master's, read it, something of Swami Kriyananda, watch Swami Kriyananda, listen to his voice, listen to his music. You should do that every day in order to be in tune. I do my best to do that every day. That way, then if you read something, 3 days later, Master can come to you with that reading again, and you think, oh, this is the way to go. But anyways, they will hold our hands, and they will help take us there if we stay in tune. But then beyond that, we have to go into meditation, and we have to make contact with the gurus in meditation. Again, this is why they have Mahasamadhi, so that we say, where are you? Where are you? And then some voice inside of us will say, I'm going to go find him. I don't care how hard the journey is, how long it is, I'm going to go find him. A few years ago, my earthly father was very sick, and I didn't realize how sick he was, and I got some emails from other friends, and immediately I booked a plane ticket and flew over there. And I'll never forget this moment, that I opened the hospital door, and he's very not well in bed, but he looks over at me and says, where were you? I said, oh, Dad, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that it was this bad, but I'm here now. And he ultimately got better. He's fine now. But I'll never forget, where were you? That I could feel, that I know that he and I have been friends for many incarnations. This isn't our first incarnation together. And so it's that we've loved each other for so many incarnations, and now when I need you, where are you? And I think about that often. And more important even than my relationship with my earthly father is the relationship with the Guru. That's eternal. I don't want him to ever say, where were you? That I want him to know that I'm there. I'm with you. I'm with you right now, Guruji. And that we want to deepen that relationship and go very far into it until Swamiji would say, and I always get this mixed up, but you'll get the point, that at the end of Swamiji's life, he said, I don't know where Swami Kriyananda ends and Master begins, or whether it was Swami Kriyananda begins and Master ends, but it's all the same. You can see why it's confusing. We want to have that kind of relationship with Master. So please don't just think that he's a picture on the wall and that he's gone now. He's not gone. He's very, very much alive, very much here with us. But we constantly have to more deeply tune in and find out where he is. I urge all of you to find the video of Swami Kriyananda, his last satsang. He gives so many hints. He's talking about Paramhansa Yogananda and his picture. It's right here, the last smile. And he says, just look at this, just look. He knew minutes later he was going to be leaving his body. But when you look into his eyes, he's not looking afraid. He's not looking sad, scared, any regrets. He's just looking like I've done my job for God perfectly, and now I'll merge back into the infinite. And Swamiji, I urge you to watch that talk, because Swamiji is giving hint after hint after hint that he too is going to be leaving his body in just a little bit of time. And you know, some of the last words in that talk, Swamiji says, I have to go now, but I want all of you to carry on. And Swamiji knew he'd be leaving. And it's up to all of us to carry on the Master's mission. I've been reading a book lately. It's very hard to find, so I hope I'm not creating a desire in you that's impossible to fulfill. But this book, it's called Dear Oliver, I believe, and it's about Oliver Black, one of Master's great disciples. And so I've been reading this book, and Master tells Oliver, we have to start churches of all religions all over the world. And Oliver Black was a good businessman, and so he does the calculation. He says, even to start in a few cities, we're going to need this amount of money, we'll need this many millionaires as donors. And Master writes back and says, forget all of that. You just do what I say. Just go take the next steps, and then we're going to get there, and one day we will build all of these temples of all religions all over the world. That, of course, when Dr. Lewis, he took care of Master in the beginning, when Master just had one small room in a little YMCA, Master would say, it's going to be big, Doctor. I tell you, it's going to be big. And Doctor would look at his one little room, and this one foreigner just kind of, okay, if you say so. And he was kind of thinking, well, you know, maybe we'll get 10 more people to come or whatever. He had no idea. He didn't understand. Master can look far into the future, but Master's counting on each one of us. And yes, we'll build great things outwardly, that's fine. But much more important, Master wants to build you from the inside out. He wants to build your discipleship, build that spiritual power that's his within you. That again, you are a God, you're a child of the infinite, that you can do anything. Another random story about one of Master's disciples, he had a big man named Norman. And one day Norman was in a lake, and Master said, go lift up this boat, a huge, huge house. It was the size of a house. This boat. Norman said, I'm strong, but that's the size of a house. I don't think so, Master. And I always wonder, what would have happened if Norman had just said, yes, Master. There was a disciple of, now we're going back into all the lineage, but Adi Shankaracharya, I shouldn't forget that name. And he had a disciple, and he asked him, come here. And that disciple just walked, that come here was walk across a river. And that disciple just started walking on top of the water and was able to go because he believed in the power of the Guru. And that we too, if we believe in the power of the Guru, nothing is impossible. Another point that I wanted to make about the letters to Oliver Black, I notice each one of us, we're all so different. And Master related to Oliver Black as a businessman. And so he would talk to him just in these businessman terms. But if you read this letters to Sister Gyanamata, very different tone. The letters to all of his different disciples, very, very different. That Master relates to each one of us differently. And that in some way we each can have our own unique path back to finding God through Master. That we won't all become carbon copies. In fact, we become more and more unique. To be original actually means to come from your own origin, from your own center. And the more you tune into Master, the more you rely on Master, not to do it for you, but to do it through you and with you, the more you will find your own center, and the more you will find a great power. And of Oliver Black, since I've been reading that book the last few nights, Master said, I have two disciples, two advanced disciples. One of them soaring spiritually in God, one of them is bogging down, and he doesn't know why. And it's hard to understand how, someone who's really, really great, and I'm sure he was already a saint, how they bog down, but I guess it happens. Anyways, you read these letters, and you see every time Master's saying, please come. Please come to Mount Washington and come and spend Christmas with me, or please, we're having this inauguration. Oliver Black would give some excuse and send some money as a businessman. And Master said, one's bogging down and he doesn't know why, because he doesn't come in person. He doesn't come to get the vibrations. And the other one comes whenever I ask, and comes, and that other one, of course, was Rajarsi Janakananda. We want to be the Rajarsi Janakananda, that just in tune with Master like nobody else. Master could show outwardly love to Rajarsi in a way that he could show to no one else, because he knew Rajarsi wouldn't take it personally. He wouldn't think, look how much Master loves me. That he would just know it's God loving God, and that he'd give that love back. So my time is up, but if nothing else, know that Master is with you. Make a commitment that you want to be his best disciple, and that you will never let go of his feet, whether he's in the body or not in the body, that you are his for eternity, and find that whisper of his from eternity within your own self. Dive deep in meditation. Learn to listen to his very, very subtle voice that is the whisper of your own soul, with his little accent on it, his little voice. You'll hear it on the inside, and then resolve that you're never, ever, ever going to let go. Life will get tough. It happens. Of course it has to. We all have karma. The waves of karma are going to come and beat us up. And that's so that we can get stronger. But how do we really get stronger? It's not so much about getting stronger here. It's getting stronger into our relationship with Master and knowing it's all right. I have a guru. I have a true guru. No matter what comes, it's all right. You'll find this space inside of you where you just know forever, ever, ever that everything's all right, and you'll be able to live in that joy eternally. You'll be able to share that joy eternally with all. So thank you all so much.
One time, when I was visiting Ananda village, that's the place in California where Ananda got started, I played a little nature game there. The game was simple. You were in pairs of two, and one person was blindfolded, and the other one had to be there to make sure that you don't trip or anything else. And there was a little hill, not very big, but let's say, and somebody was standing, let's say, 50, 100 meters away, all right? And the game was very simple. The one who's blindfolded, they turn you around a little bit, and then the person next to you points you straight to where the person is standing on top of the hill. So all that you had to do is walk straight and see if you get to the person. And I was the one being blindfolded. I was very, very confident. Just put one foot in front of the other, and how hard could it be, really? I was much more immature back then, But anyway, I started walking, and suddenly my companion tapped me on the shoulder and I said, do you want to stop? I said, no. Why would I stop? I'll just keep going, Okay. And then after a few moments, again, I think you should stop, he tells me. I said, what? And then I removed my blindfold. If I was here, the guy was way over there. I had totally gone completely off totally. I said, what happened? How did this happen? I just was going straight. I didn't turn or anything. I said, yeah, you were going straight for a little bit. Then suddenly you took one wrong step and you just kept going straight again, but in the wrong direction. And that is the importance of attunement to the Guru. Master told us what to do. Meditate, do your energization. Okay, well, at least do your kriya, do your meditation, all these things. Very straight, very simple. Keep, checking in. But, and we may become confident. Oh yes, I'm doing my part, I'm doing my thing. But if we don't hear the little tap on the shoulder, or if we don't check in back again and again, even in our meditation, we can take a wrong step if we do our meditation with the wrong attitude, or if we think that only by meditation we'll go there, or only by this, or only by that. You never know. Life changes constantly. For example, some people get very happy because they get a lot of time to meditate, and suddenly circumstances change and they cannot meditate so much, and they think that everything is going wrong, and they fight tremendously with themselves. Oh no, I should be meditating more. Yes, ideally, yes, but what is Divine Mother? What has the Guru given you? Maybe right now he's saying, oh, you've meditated enough. Yes, I still want you to meditate, obviously, but also look at this, what I have brought to you. Because through that, maybe your attunement will increase. Maybe you'll get there faster. So we should always keep on checking with the Guru inwardly. I love that poem that Shamini read because it's so beautiful. It's Master saying, when I'm just a dream, first of all, he said, not first of all, but he said, I will speak to you through my whispers from eternity, that wonderful book of poem prayers that he gave us. And so get that book, read it. Every night you can read a poem or before every meditation, and it's just so wonderful. You'll feel him very close to you. Sometimes you'll get answers to some things that you may be going through. But then he said, when you're basically paraphrasing, when you're right, I will smile through your heart. And when you err, I will weep in the shadows for you. But then he says something that basically means, and if you are carefully listening and paying attention, I will even weep through your eyes. Because you will also realize that you did something wrong. But we will never realize that we did it if we don't keep checking in. As Shankara was saying, how important it is to remember that the Gurus are so alive. Recently I heard a story that an Acharya said that how a lady from Brazil was visiting Ananda village, and she was staying in a tent, and she didn't practice Kriya. She was more interested in yoga, Hatha yoga. She was not very, probably she was getting introduced to the path and all that. But she said on her tent, just Yogananda appeared to her. And he told her only one word. That she said that word changed her career completely, what she was doing, her organization. He said, give to that person. And it's a very wonderful message for all of us. As somebody asked Master, what will happen when you go, what will take your place, or something like that. He said, when I'm gone, only love can take my place. And love, giving, is part of love. That we should really attune ourselves, bring the Guru's consciousness through our meditation as well as through our daily activities, and then give. Share that with everyone. That is the way really to keep him alive within ourselves. Now, you hear these stories sometimes, and for example, when we started going to Ahmedabad way back when, it was very funny because a guy came to Ananda because he was, I don't remember the situation, but he could not return home. He had no money and something or the other. And supposedly Yogananda appeared in front of him. He didn't know who he was, and bought him a vada pav, to feed him. And they took him somewhere with him, which happened to be a YSS ashram at that time. Because when the guy woke up after sleeping, the people inside were like, what are you doing here? And that guy on the wall, he told me to come here. Anyway, he appears to people. Sometimes he may appear in your meditation or all these things. But even these things in of themselves, really they don't mean necessarily much. Yes, they obviously touch the heart. If they change you in some way or the other, of course they are wonderful. But that one time, Swamiji was visiting, he went to the room of a brother disciple, and he saw this disciple was kind of speechless, in awe, and asked, what happened? I said, I was just lying down, and the Yoganandaji, he was alive at that point, but Yoganandaji came to me in my dream and he took me through the astral world and he showed me the entire astral world, and he had this wonderful, wonderful experience. But that disciple, not long after, actually left the path. And when Swami Kriyananda asked the Guru, he said like, well, his good karma, God through his good karma was giving him these experiences in order to try to keep him there. But even those experiences in the end could not hold him. So don't be afraid if nothing of these things come. Really, they really don't matter. What matters is that we feel him in our hearts. We feel him through our energy. We feel him in some way in one another as well. I'll conclude with this. Something also very wonderful to see, it's bittersweet, is to see people in Ananda when they pass away. Recently, there's a couple people who passed away. And one very great person, her name was Swami Anandi. When she passed away, many people reported seeing her. Some people said, her husband said how she was helping him go into the Brahmanari and other deep things that, we are like, wow. But more than anything, it was very inspiring to see the amount of freedom that she had. Obviously, some of us who met her, we knew that she was really wonderful, but she was just like one of us, really. A devotee who day by day tried to tune into the Master and do her best. And we obviously don't know where she got, but I'm sure she was free. And the whole thing of the Mahasamadhi is that the Mahasamadhi reminds us that this is our destiny too. That our Mahasamadhi or merging into the light will also come if we keep going. Yes, putting one step in front of the other, it was right when I was playing that game, but I should have also listened and be more in tune. And that way, really, we cannot fail. No matter what, keep that relationship with the Guru alive. Keep it creative. Those people who get bored on the spiritual path or go to other teachers or other things is because they are not cultivating that relationship. Because if you pay attention, you will feel that he's ever new, he's ever with you the moment you really call with love. And with that, I'll invite Shamini now to share.
I was getting a little excited over there because a lot of what you both shared is something of what I prepared for a change. Often when we say 3 of us are going to share or 5 of us, we don't know. Someone may pick up whatever or someone may take my point. And they didn't take the 1 or 2 stories I wanted to share with all of us here. So, just this is the main essence of what I wanted to just share with all of us together today is, one thing that the Mahasamadhi of Yogananda ji and these times bring is really, like Shankara was saying, this question comes in our heart, where are you? And we start, where are you, Master? I really want you here right now. I want to feel you right now. And we can kind of get into that bhav a little bit, isn't it? Of just drawing, I want you here. And that's very good to sometimes challenge the Guru in that way. Come to me. I want to know. I want to feel your tangible presence. I want this answer. And why not? If he said, I will be with you, ever with you, guiding you through your thoughts, through your feelings. I will cry through your eyes. I will correct you through others if you're wrong. Of course, he's going to do that for us as well. And for us to bring that is very, very important sometimes in our discipleship. So make that alive, isn't it? But also, Swamiji would say, you all have it lucky that from the beginning, because sometimes we can say, oh, I wish I had seen Master in body. And of course, I'm sure every disciple goes through this. I wish I could just be with you in physical presence and be at your ashram. And we could be in the Himalayas somewhere in a little hut maybe and away from all this. Sometimes we have this, maybe that comes up. I don't want to go through all these things. Why am I here? And so many times devotees come and ask that. And it's like Swamiji would say that you all have it lucky because we had to, in the ashram living with Master, we had to learn how to connect with him here instead of the physical form. And one time he was trying very hard to connect with Master in his meditation and really feel him. And he came out of his room and he was walking through and Master was right in front of him. And he was kind of, stunned because, is he here? Is he here? And in that moment, Master gave him an apple just to make it even more real, and it was just he said in that sense, you all have it easier in that way, because right from the beginning you need to feel it right here. And of course he, of course, understood that. But just this concept of what they were both sharing as well, of just for us to see, how do we remember the Guru? How do we, in day-to-day life, how much do we think of the Guru? Isn't it? That's one thing for us to keep in mind. Because many times we can even go through a meditation, as we know, and say, oh, I forgot to think of the Guru. Isn't it? I mean, I'm sure it happens to all of us. And then not to mention our work, and not to mention our service. We can do service to the Guru and get so excited and start chattering with each other, and you forget, or whatever it might be. And that's the training in a way that they were also talking about. That's finally, we've come to a point where we just don't have to do this alone anymore. And that's what makes this so sweet, this relationship. And he's, I think, constantly trying to tell us, just do this with me. Just let me grab your hand. Let me show you. You're going the wrong way. Let me just, hello, can you take off this, or can you unplug? No? This way. And so many times that keeps happening, isn't it? And for us to remember, by just remembering the Guru, so much can just, I think that's the main training, that many times we get caught up in, we think this is important, or that to-do list is important, or this seva, I need to finish this, I need to do that. But all he wants is for us to remember him. And then he'll say, let's do this together. Like that, lift the boat, or whatever it might be. And it always, and many times things look like, oh my God, that's way too big for me. But if we just say, okay, we never know what can happen, isn't it? If we just allow. And that's the magic of this guru-disciple relationship. And so I just wanted to leave us with this thought of, Swamiji, I think on Sunday, for those of you who are here, I was trying to share this story. It's about the relationship of work, that Swamiji learned how to work when he was with Master. So I reread it because I had missed a few details, as I often tend to when I tell stories. And I wanted to just share some very nice points from that. So when Swamiji was a young monk and he lived with Master in the monastery, at that point, Swamiji was always, until the end of his time, he was Kriyananda, bliss through Kriya also, but action. So he was always very enthusiastic, and lots of ideas would come. He would say, he would feel like he's sitting on top of a volcano with ideas just bursting of how to serve the Guru's work. And he said, of course, that's a very important quality to have, for the Guru's work. How can I serve? What else can I do? Let's find other ways. Who can I help? How can I give more? As that one devotee, give. Okay, how do I give more? You can get very excited and try to find ways. And so he would say that was a great thing. But at that point, and he in that time, even though he was just really working himself to the max, his only thought would be, if only I could do 100 times more of this, how much more Master's work would reach how many more people? And he had that desire very strongly. And what did Master do? At one point, his health, Swamiji's health got a little down. So Master told him basically that for 2 days of the week, go to Encinitas, which is a little away from Los Angeles where the ashram was, and spend 2 days there and just do nothing, just retreat, and then recharge yourself, come back and serve. And so when Swamiji was in that phase, he would spend those 2 days of the week just in God remembrance, practicing God remembrance, japa, just thinking of God. And then he would come back and do this. But one time, the moment he had spent a couple of days there, as soon as he came back, Yogananda looked at him and said, "You're doing wonderfully." And he always thought that was very interesting, because he had been working himself so hard for the Guru's work, but Yogananda never praised him for that. But when he took this time to practice God remembrance, that's when he said, "You're doing wonderfully." And after that, that's what we suspect, that he learned it. Until then, he could do all the rest of the work that he needed to do. And that's the work, as they were both saying as well, no? The only work that the Guru is trying to tell us to do is this. And how do we even start to do this work? It's not possible on our own. It's not possible with our little effort. And he's always sort of reaching down with his hand like this, saying, come on, come on. And all we have to do, he told us, 25%, all we have to do is just say, okay, where are you? Are you here? Am I going the right way? Is this the way forward? No? What other things should I do? How should I change this? And every day I was thinking this may be one of a little gift, you might say, in the time of Mahasamadhi we could give Master, is just to say, did I remember you? No? Just keep this with you over the next days, over the next week. If it's not already a part of your practice, just at the end of every day, this could be a wonderful introspection, isn't it? It's, how much did I think of you? How much did I remember you through the day? In this meditation, how much did I remember you again? Or did I get caught up in the techniques or the paths? And the more we keep training ourselves like this, the more our life becomes so rich, and so sweet. And so I just wanted to end on this little story that from that same time, there was a disciple living in Master's ashram. And he made it a practice to just always pray to the Guru inwardly, I love you, Guruji. I love you, Guruji. He would just go about his tasks in the ashram. I love you, Guruji, just like that. And then one time Master was walking by him and he happened to see him. And he looked at the devotee and he said, I love you too. Just like that. And just, he's listening to each prayer, each moment that we're calling out to him. Don't think it's going unheard, and for us to just keep that with us, in this time especially, but also going forward. So, Om Guru. Thank you.
I've known them forever, they've haunted my slumber, and called to me out of the deeps of space. The love that they promised has helped me remember another time a caring embrace. Dark eyes in the morning, dark eyes in the evening, dark eyes in the starlight at end of day. Dark eyes that speak silence, they whisper, come find me. You'll never know true love if you stay. Now I seek them in the winter time, or I seek them in the spring. Those two dark eyes draw my heart away to where sun and moon sing. I laugh now in the summertime when ripples on the river play. I laugh soaring with the meadowlarks, love has made my heart gay. I laugh soaring with the meadowlarks, love has made my heart gay. I've known them forever, they've haunted my slumber, and called to me out of the deeps of space. The love that they promised has helped me remember another time a